This is KGW News at Sunrise.
And good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Sunday morning. I'm Tim Gordon.
And I'm Christelle Kumway. This morning on Sunrise, Oregon is lowering its suicide rate. We'll look at improvements to resources and how far there is to go.
Plus, people from Corvallis are helping their sister city in Ukraine. What they're hand delivering to make a difference. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for a quick look at the Sunday forecast. Chris?
Good morning, guys. Let's take you live to downtown Portland. Our Rose City Sky camera showing the lights flickering here in the distance. We're still, of course, a good hour or so. Actually, just under an hour now away from sunrise this morning. Let's check at PDX. It is 50 degrees, so we are off and running. Another mild start here across the region. 45, one of the cooler spots in Hillsborough, and even that, obviously not that cool. It's 48 in Troutdale. Big picture across the state. Nobody terribly cold this morning. The coldest spot on the map, above freezing. Burns right now, waking up to 34 degrees. All right, the plan for today, a lot like yesterday. You know how we have the sprinkles in the morning, we won't have those today. But plenty of cloud cover. Temperatures inching towards 60 by lunchtime. Late in the day, we climb into the upper 60s, and there is the chance late this afternoon, but especially tonight, that we start to see some showers rolling into the area. Guys, I'll walk you through that with Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Well, we start this morning with breaking news out of Salem, and it is not good. 4 people have died in a horrific scene as a driver crashed into a homeless camp this morning. This happened near the intersection of Front Street and Division Street Northeast. That is not far from downtown Salem.
Investigators have been on the scene since just after 2 a.m. We're not sure what caused this to happen, but we do know 2 people died at the scene. 2 more died at the hospital. Another 2 people have life-threatening injuries. We'll keep you updated on this situation throughout the day. This morning, Ukraine's president accused the West of, quote, lacking courage. He made another plea for fighter jets and tanks to help his country keep up with its defense against Russia.
Now, this comes a day after President Joe Biden delivered a forceful address in Poland, vowing to punish Vladimir Putin for the violence.
We will have a different future, a brighter future, rooted in democracy and principles, hope and light, of decency and dignity, of freedom and possibilities. For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power.
While those comments sound like President Biden was calling for regime change in Russia, White House staffers quickly clarified that's not the stance. They said, quote, Putin cannot be allowed to exercise power over his neighbors. The president also warned Russia to stay clear of NATO territory. Earlier in the day, the president met with Ukrainian refugees in person. The president shared what he heard from those who left family behind to fight.
Each one of those children said something to the effect, say a prayer for my dad, or my grandfather, or my brother.
Well, as Biden discussed the Ukrainian refugees' message, the State Department announced plans for an additional $100 million in aid. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that will help the Ukrainian Ministry of Affairs, civil law enforcement functions, and government infrastructure. Well, a piece of Oregon is in Ukraine, helping the everyday people impacted by the war.
Yeah, Corvallis has a sister city there, and once the war broke out, people here wanted to give back. Now here's Galen Edlin.
We're in it for the long haul. We've been there 30 years.
Members of the Corvallis Sister Cities Association boarded a plane Thursday with 10 suitcases of emergency supplies in tow.
Packed with medications, medical supplies, socks, clothing, hygiene kits.
Delta waived about $2,000 in luggage fees as volunteers headed to their sister city, Usharad, in western Ukraine.
It's been an overwhelming outpouring of support from Corvallis.
Alice Rampton with the Corvallis Sister Cities Association says supplies are being taken to refugee centers like these, helping those escaping from more violent areas. Usharad is safe right now, but people are scared.
They're just wondering what will happen the next day.
The Corvallis organization has raised about $200,000 for relief efforts, but also,
you are not alone.
Art by local youth is being brought to displaced refugee children to help brighten spirits in a dark time.
Here's another.
Love and hope sent from nearly 5,700 miles away.
We're not going to give up on our sister city now, and we're going to stand with them.
The Coast Guard is searching for at least one person after a fishing vessel sank Saturday morning off the coast of Florence. A call came in from 68-year-old Mike Morgan saying the boat was going down. Crews continue to search a 21-square-mile area for Morgan. He said there was a female crew member on board. A helicopter was dispatched and crews spotted debris in a life raft, but the helicopter had to turn back because of foggy conditions.
Portland police say they've arrested one person for a stabbing in Old Town. Officers responded after 10 o'clock Saturday morning for a security guard who was stabbed near Northwest 5th and Cooch. The victim says the suspect walked away after the assault, but police found him nearby. The injured guard was taken to the hospital and should be okay. Police charged Samuel Cousage with second-degree assault and unlawful use of a weapon. Well, the family of a young murder victim wants answers more than 6 months after their loved one was killed in Vancouver. Crime Stoppers is now offering a reward, and police released some new images they hope will help solve the case. Tyler Harris was just 19 when he died. Vancouver police say the young man was shot to death at the doorway of his apartment. It happened shortly before midnight last August 29th in the 3500 block of Northeast 50th Court in Vancouver.
He is the oldest out of his siblings. So they miss him very much. And it's been difficult, but we take it day by day.
Tyler's mother, Melissa, says her oldest son had 4 younger siblings, and Tyler was a gem.
Very strong young man, had his life ahead of him, had a wonderful life ahead of him, very smart, very caring, very kind.
Now he's gone, and the case is unsolved. Maybe these newly released images from surveillance video will help. They are of 2 women and a man investigators say are seen in the video knocking on Harris's door. Then moments later, Harris is shot and the 3 people flee. Take a good look. Both women are wearing dark leggings, one with the red and white Fila logo on the side, the other wearing a dark hoodie with what appears to be Washington State Cougar logos. The man is wearing Nike shoes that are white and black on the front and orange and yellow on the back. Tyler's mother had to celebrate her son's birthday without him recently. Now she hopes the images and Crime Stoppers' $2,500 reward offer gives family the gift of closure.
We feel confident that with that footage and with the help of social media, that we will be able to get that out more so that everyone can see that. And hopefully someone knows, or maybe the suspects themselves will come forward and do the right thing. It will bring an end to a lot of emotional pain, and a lot of the why.
The latest report by the CDC shows Oregon's suicide rate is improving, but the state still has a long way to go. Oregon had the nation's 13th highest suicide rate across all ages in 2020, down from the 9th highest the year before. Suicide prevention groups say it's a small victory and there's much more work to do. It's a glimmer through the darkness.
What we saw is people learning new ways to find strength, new ways to find hope, and new ways to find help.
Oregon is one of 7 states to see lower suicide rates in 2020, and early data show 2021 is on the same track for even lower rates.
This is incredibly important because it means that Oregon will see a 3-year decreasing trend in youth suicide, and that has to matter and it has to be celebrated.
Jill Baker with the Oregon Health Authority thinks awareness and lower stigma around mental health made a difference.
Mental health has been talked about in all places and spaces, and so there's something protective about knowing that you can say, I'm not okay.
While Oregon is headed in the right direction, the state's suicide rate is still above the national average.
We're not done.
OHA works with other groups like Matchstick Consulting to prevent suicide in Oregon.
Matchstick Consulting helps to implement Sources of Strength statewide.
Sources of Strength is a suicide prevention program in schools. It trains peer leaders to help other students.
They represent it by race and ethnicity and gender and sexual orientation, class, but also social diversity.
Experts say those students can relate and reach their peers better than anyone else, directing them to support resources. The program has trained more than 600 youth across 35 Oregon schools in 15 counties.
We know For suicide prevention programming to be effective among young people have to be at the table.
In the dark fight against mental health crisis and suicide, each new group on board offers a light.
We feel really encouraged that we're headed in the right direction, in a better direction. And that has to do with a lot of really hard work from a lot of really amazing people.
These are difficult stories to talk about, but we want to remind you there is help. If you know someone or yourself needs help, you can call the National Suicide Line at 800-273-8255. It's available anytime you need it.